Well, to discuss this, we're now joined by retired High Court Judge Chris Greenland. Thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you. And a very fascinating case about judges, judiciary as human beings with a private life and private ideals. Your first thoughts when you heard about this case?
Well, it was brought to my attention on social media, and I read what appeared to be a Facebook post in the name of Mabel, Jansen, who I assume is the judge in question. But as a judge, I don't conclude that without evidence. But for the purpose of this conversation, I'll assume that this was posted by Judge Mabel Jansen, and my immediate reaction was to be taken aback. In fact, I was quite shocked. And as I read the conversation and read her defense, her purported defense of the stance that she had taken, I became rather horrified that this could be the thinking of a superior court judge of this country. Because she was passing judgment in the public domain on a whole race or ethnic group. Judges don't do that. Judges only pass judgment on other humans in court, on evidence.
Okay.
Otherwise, they lead what we call lonely lives, in terms of which they steer clear of politics, they steer clear of anything controversial, for the reason that to indulge yourself in that exposes the judiciary to being brought into disrepute.
I'm going to hurry us along a little bit just because we're pushed for time. But when a judge is appointed, they go through a process of deciding whether they're a fit and proper person to take up the chair as a judge.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, right.
Yes.
Now, given that and what you've seen, would it be, I mean, could we say that she's still fit and proper? And what would be the appropriate action in response to this?
It's quite clear that the stance, as evidenced on Facebook, calls her suitability as a judge seriously into question. It also raises a charge of bringing the administration of justice into disrepute. Those two are indicated on a prima facie basis. And it means that the Judicial Service Commission is obliged under the Constitution to subject her to the procedure to test whether she should remain as a judge or not.
Does that mean that judges can't have private views?
Yes, you can have private views, but as I said, you lead a very lonely life. You keep them to yourself, and at best you discuss them with other judges and your wife.
Are her previous judgments perhaps unsafe now, given what's come out now?
Not necessarily, because you would have to examine each of those judgments on their own merits. What is indicated is that she does not have the culture of the judge, the fundamental culture of a judge, to approach issues without fear, favor, or prejudice, especially that last one, prejudice. Her statement about black people can be equated to Donald Trump's statement about Mexicans and Muslims. That is what politicians say, not judges.
Is it possible to have prejudicial personal views but be a fair judge at the same time?
Absolutely. Peter, it's politically correct to pretend that other groups, other race groups, other ethnic groups, other tribal groups are the only ones that are prejudiced. My stance is that we are all prejudiced. We all have natural prejudices. My Ndebele grandmother did not regard any other grouping at the same level and deserving of the same esteem or respect as Ndebele people. She only regarded as Zulus as deserving of that. So that was the prejudice. We've all got these prejudices, but we have to be careful that the prejudice does not translate into bigotry. And when you classify a whole group of people as and judge them in that way, it's like saying that because there are some Islamic terrorists, all Muslims are terrorists. That's bigotry. So if you're going to say that because some black people rape and sexually molest, all black people have that culture, that is bigotry.
Okay. Should she go?
That depends entirely on the adjudication process that now must be implemented in terms of the Constitution.
All right. Judge Greenland, we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. These are always too brief. But thank you very much indeed for your powerful insights.
Thank you, Peter.
All right. Okay.